Hi, I'm JKB, and welcome back to my weekly news show where I cover all of the positive news from within the gaming industry, which is not very positive lately. It's mostly negative, but I try to be positive, so if you like what I do on the show, please consider subscribing. Also, I stream all the time on my show. We do crazy things all the time. I ran out of steam. The first thing I want to discuss is the Star Wars license and where it's actually landed after EA lost the exclusive rights to use the Star Wars name in their video games. Now, there's something I want to bring up right off the bat. A lot of people don't realize that these studios have to pay a tremendous amount of money to be able to license third-party IPs that the studios do not own. So at Ubisoft, if they make a Splinter Cell game versus a Star Wars game, there's a lot of payment that needs to happen to use the Star Wars name. They don't just get it for free. It's not like Disney's like, sure, use Star Wars. You gotta pay a lot of money. If you don't believe me, just look at Marvel's Spider-Man and what they've done with Sony. Just go look at the stats on that and how much money they've had to pay out to use the Spider-Man name. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because, as you all know, EA held the license for quite some time. And I think some of the fan backlash, which was justified into the microtransactions that were put into the Star Wars Battlefront games, they lost the license to a certain degree and it went over to Ubisoft. So a lot of us were like, oh my God, finally we might get something that is really, really well made, which, don't get me wrong, the Jedi games that came out, over the last couple of years, they're pretty good games, but we wanted something different. We wanted somebody's other hands on it. We wanted it to be rubbed down by another studio. Listen, rub me down. So when Ubisoft was announced, I thought, well, this could be a good opportunity for Ubisoft to step aside from their usual formula in the Assassin's Creed series that I think all of us, let's just be honest, we're just completely sick of it. So I thought, here's a chance, Ubisoft, prove yourself with a next-gen game. It's a Star Wars game, so a lot of eyes are going to be on it. What are you guys going to deliver? Well, the story trailer came out, and I got to be honest, it looks like a game that I might really enjoy playing, so I'm not going to really talk about that here. I'll save that for the review, but here's where we start to go back down the negative hole that we're going down across the board in this industry. Star Wars Outlaws in the US is $129 for the Ultimate Edition. This lets you get a bunch of hoopla crap that most people might not care about. It comes with the season pass, but get this, it's an early access paywall for that cost in the US. I'm reading it right here, $130. You get a early access by 3 days. Now, of course, there's another aspect to this. You could just pay $110 to get the early access, but not get the season pass and the little bundles that are attached to it. Now, let me point out in Canada here, where the beavers can barely eat because everything is so expensive, it cost $169 for the Ultimate Edition of this game in Canada. That's almost $200. And I can't believe that this is going to be some sort of sustainable future for the gaming industry, especially in Canada here. I can't spend $200 just to play a game for 3 days early with the season pass and all this DLC. So my question is, why does everything need to be monetized in a game these days? And speaking of monetization in a game, let's just talk about this for a quick second. It's the second story, but then we're going to go back to Ubisoft because they've done something, I can't believe this. They've done something ridiculous that's going to piss off so many people, but let's talk about this. Movie tie-ins are a big deal right now. You'll notice that there's crazy movie tie-ins across the board, from video games to TV commercials. You see movie tie-ins all over the place. You might go to a restaurant or even an ice cream place right now, and you'll see like Princess Peach's ice cream available at the Marble Slab, which I had 16 of them and I gained 20 pounds. But my point is, I don't really mind that there's cross promotion happening between, say, an ice cream shop and Nintendo. That's not really a big deal. But when it comes to the new Call of Duty item, this is getting out of hand. There is a new $80 Call of Duty item that is a cross promotion with the new King Kong movie, and I can't believe this exists. The item is known as a Beast Glove, and the only way I understand you can get it is by buying 4 separate DLC packs that will combine together to get you this Beast Glove. How can you justify this? Why is everything so monetized? And you know what's really annoying about all of this? People complain non-stop, but then I see them talking about how they bought the early access and the game's amazing. So yeah, on one side of the coin, sure, offer these things in your Ubisoft games or in your Call of Duty games, but that doesn't mean we need to instantly buy it, of course. But I feel like what's happening here is quite simple. All of these monetized items and these monetized DLC packs are being purchased. There's no doubt about it, or they wouldn't be in the game. As you know, the industry will follow suit. So if something is working, they'll follow suit. Now, let me swing it back to Ubisoft for a second and talk about game preservation. And I'll make this one quick because we already talked about Ubisoft and I really don't need to give them any extra press. Ubisoft has confirmed that you will need an internet connection to install the physical copy of Outlaws when it comes out later this year. That means in 10 to 15 years, you will not be able to install this game unless that server connection is still online. And of course, we just learned a valuable lesson. If you own a Wii U or a 3DS, Nintendo just shut all of the online services off. So you're telling me I'm gonna spend $169 in Canada to get a game that in the future, if something happens to my system, I have to reinstall it in 5 to 10 years and the server's not connecting, it's just a piece of plastic. I was in Walmart the other day trying to buy a copy of Unicorn Overlord for the Nintendo Switch, and the representative that was working said, we haven't got any new games for 2 weeks, and in fact, I think we're getting rid of a lot of these. And I thought to myself, well, now the only way I'm gonna really be able to get this is GameStop, which is also dying. And then on top of it, I went to Amazon thinking, oh, I'll just buy it there, it might be on sale. Nope. It's $109 for the Switch copy right now. So there's an algorithm that actually jacks up the price on Amazon, and that's what we have to look forward to when we think of physical games. Let me put a cap on the Ubisoft news here, and you guys can let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this. It's not like it's new. We've dealt with this bullshit in the past from Ubisoft. Almost every game that they release nowadays has some sort of ridiculous, overpriced bullshit attached to it. When here, let me just point this out, you can get Assassin's Creed Mirage here in Canada for like $30 now. Just wait. That's all I have to say at this point in time. I know that there's a lot of people that want to play this Star Wars game because it looks like a lot of fun, but I cannot recommend going out there spending the money on this DLC nonsense and this internet connection bullshit that they're doing now. Just puts a sour taste in my mouth. It's just disgusting. Now, the next news story comes from Scott Woodford on my Twitter feed. You know, I asked you guys, what do you want me to talk about on this week's show? And he said this: I visited my mom for her 86th birthday. That's some fun news. Listen, happy birthday to your mom, and thank you for the support. Hopefully she doesn't get blackout drunk again and fall in the pool like last year. That was, we had to call the cops. So overall, what did we learn today? We've learned that Ubisoft is just as greedy as EA games, but we all knew that. How do you guys feel about all the news stories today? Do you feel like Ubisoft has a little bit of a gem game here, but now you're a little pissed off about how they're handling the release of the game and the DLC? Let me know down in the comments below. I read all of the comments, and I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the show. And then during the week, I've started to do vertical streaming on the YouTube Shorts feed, which is absolutely crazy. Those views are ridiculous. So thank you for the support over there. In fact, in the next couple of hours, I'm going to be doing a live stream from my room where I'm going to be showing every single Blu-ray I own. So let's check out the physical media that's going to be dead in 5 years. So I'll see you on stream soon, and thank you for watching News Bytes.